All right, friends, how's it going today? We are going to be working on some cool stuff. The first thing that I want to work on today is I am trying to figure out a book cover, and I've been doing a lot of writing. Been really busy. I think we're at like 12 or 13,000 words, but our goal is 50. So we should have that done by hopefully April, end of April. That's what I'm hoping. So yeah, so right now we have two things I want to do. I need to come up with some type of generic book cover, just because I need to start thinking about how that's going to look. I have a lot of the writing done, so now it's about piecing together a lot of the things. And then second thing I want to do is just write 1,000 words. So I'm going to be kind of looking into book covers first, and then we're going to dive into kind of the other side of things. So I'm using Canva right now. I have a lot of cool things that I've already done for this. Right now, this is just called the Part-Time Programmer. I don't really know what else to name it right now, but that's the current name, and it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, there's a lot of other ones that are cool, but I mean, we don't want to do things that have already been done or that are already really famous. So I want to kind of keep it in the idea that anybody can become a programmer in their own part time. So meaning that they can pick it up on the side, they can, work at a job and, change their career trajectory, whatever it might be. Hey, Pokemon lover, how's it going? So this is kind of where we are right now. This is our first logo. We have a lot of different sections too. So these are just different icons based on of like what I've been kind of thinking about. And that's currently how like the book works out. So there's a lot of sections. There's about, I don't know, I want to say like 10 different main sections. You made a garbage collector for systems. Finished it 3 days before it was due. Nice, man. Good job. What kind of garbage collector did you make? Like, did it have like generations and stuff like that, or have like a large heap or anything like that? Or man, I haven't touched garbage collection for a long time. I know most of the concepts though. I just haven't touched it for a long time. Yeah, like a large object heap is what I was thinking. So yeah, I want to kind of move this design into a book cover, and I want to kind of see if I can use my icons that I've been kind of playing around with to kind of give the feel of what this whole book is about. So I have a lot of different icons, and I've just been kind of looking at, or I guess I already had this open. So I'm kind of looking at what other books, like the covers look like. This is just like generic programmer books, but the one thing I don't like about most programming books is that they're really ugly covers. Like the packed books are really bad in my opinion. I really like this design where it's kind of like, okay, this is a cool little illustration, clear title. I also like these ones where they're really minimalist, where it's just like the title and then like what it's about and stuff. Pragmatic Programmer is a classic. So, I'm just trying to look through some examples and try to get like a minimalist feel, but also something that just isn't like an animal or something. So, oh, okay, large heap, cool. So I was looking at this and just kind of getting an idea. To be honest, I think most programming books don't really have great covers. I mean, they don't really have to. But I was looking at like the New York Times too, and a lot of them have different covers as well. Like a lot of them are very minimalist. They just have like the title, the title, like the subtitle, I guess, and then what it's about, the title, what it's about, the author name. And I was just kind of looking through all of these different ones just to kind of see, what kind of like stands out. So I'm trying to see if I can, replicate something like this. So we'll kind of think about like a lot of white, big name for the title, maybe less big for the author name, a small little subtitle or something for what it's about. And honestly, I don't think there's much else to it. I want to try to incorporate the icons as much as I can, make them as minimal, but we'll just start with like what kind of templates they have and then go from there. What rank was I when the last time I played League? Oh my gosh. You know, I haven't played League for like a year, I want to say. Maybe even earlier than that. I don't know. I would play Nocturne over and over again because that's the only hero I was like decent at. I think I got to like Gold 1 again, and then I was in a promo for Plat, and then I just didn't have time, and I decayed or something like that. So like I was a Nocturne and Shaco one trick pony. I'd only play those two. But I mean I usually play jungle, so yeah. Stuck in Silver 4. I mean I used to play League in a small like league like in Utah, so I was actually pretty good at one point. And those, you don't really lose that skill, I guess. Like, you know the basics of the game, but when the patches change and you don't know what the meta is and stuff like that, that's the hard part. Is like I just play heroes that are in the meta. So like I switched over to Nocturne, or I switched over to Shaco or whatever, even though Shaco's never been good in any meta. So yeah. Yeah, the metas change. Like you'll have jungle metas where it's like tank jungles, or you'll have like carry jungles like Nocturne and stuff like that, or whatever it might be. I don't know what it is today, but yeah, that's what I usually played. So I was looking at some of these templates. A lot of them are actually really good starts to what I'm thinking of for this book. So I kind of want to incorporate these icons if I can. That'd be cool. Or I'll just use this main icon as like the big one. So the one I played around with a long time ago was, I think it was this one, this one, which kind of like, I really like it. It's minimalist. It kind of has that title, has a good look and feel. And I was thinking that maybe if I made my own icon sets of all of my icons, it would look pretty cool. So I'm going to duplicate this and just like see how I can do that. So I just kind of need a grouping of 4 of my icons. Probably more though. How many do I have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have about 11 icons. Let's see how that might work. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It might work out, but I need an even number. If I only have 11, because like my book right now, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I need one more chapter potentially to make this work out. But so I can go with something like this, put an icon of each one. Let's just see how that might look. So if I were to like copy all these over, I guess. Let's see if I can do that. I'm pretty sure I can, right? Yeah. So if I were to select like each one of them, or those not selecting, unless I deselected one or something. Oh, maybe not. All right. So we can try something and then just do like a pattern type of deal. And also I shouldn't get like, we got to make sure they're in the right order. So maybe we do the 4 idea. I think that was kind of cool what they're doing here. Let's see. Hecarim. Hecarim's always been in some type of meta. I mean, I feel like I've always seen him in it. Tanks are the best in the game because they take heavy damage, have good team fight. Yeah, I hardly see. I haven't really kept up with the pro scene either, but I'm sure they still play a lot of tanks. Let's see. We'll have to group these somehow, so it's just not gonna look that great with 11. So I'm gonna have to think about either dropping the introduction one, because I can probably put that somewhere else, or maybe I just don't do this tiling idea. Nunu. Oh, you know, I haven't actually seen like people play Nunu. I think they reworked them. I don't really remember. I haven't seen like half of the characters that haven't been reworked for a really long time. So we'll start with something. We'll definitely have to make them smaller, right? So we have a couple more. So this might mean if I do one more chapter, that might make sense. So let's see what that looks like. So let's get this a little bit smaller. Because the other thing too is I can just you know what? Actually, I want to make them all the same size. So let's just throw everything in here for now. We'll just put that one down there. And I'll show everyone the chapters and stuff in a second. So we have 11. I think this one's the most generic one, and maybe this one makes most sense, like with the as like a generic one next to the title. Because if we do that, then we'll have an even amount, and we can just move these over or something. So let's try it. So we'll just try to make a, which one's which? I think it's that. So we'll just try to like even them all out really quick. We'll see what it looks like. Let's see, Leona support. I haven't actually seen Leona play a lot. Used to play it a lot, right? So I guess we actually need to take 2 out, right? Because we want 9. Yeah, so we should probably just add one. Maybe we do a final one where it's just like a summary or something, or a, yeah. We can make it work. So what we'll do is we'll just add another one and we'll find another similar icon, because we were just using some icons here. So I'll just find this person. Icons 8. So I just need to find these. So I need one that has like this red and this yellow, and it's kind of like a, we want to say like a summary or something, or questions or something. I think that might be a cool one. Yeah, like something like this or something like this. I like this one because it has the red in it. So let's go with this one. We'll just say like questions and answers. We'll just try to do that for now. Okay. And then we'll just add it in here, because that'll work out for me. That's kind of what I was hoping to do. So I think they're all lined up, but we'll have to try it out. So now the question would be, how do we want to do this? They're doing 1 2 1 2 1 2, so I can probably do 4 over, or I can make them smaller, or I can do 2 columns. We'll see. Let's see. Pros look for flashy plays rather than easy champs. You know, ever since I've played video games, I've always felt that the meta is like the only reason why like people are good at it. Like people who are really good at shifting to the meta are like the pros that stay in the game for a long time. All right. So how should we do this? Do we want to just do 3 and see how that works? Let's try it. So let's make it a little bit smaller. We're gonna have to make them a bit more smaller than this. So if we did something that kind of was like, I mean, we could repeat them, but I want them to be just about as big. It's just gonna look weird, I guess, if I repeat them at this size, if they're not like in 2 columns. I mean, this might look cool too, something like this. So what I can do is like just group these. I mean, we just need something for now. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm gonna copy that and delete it, and then we're gonna get rid of all this and then paste it back in. Maybe we make this slightly bigger. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't honestly been playing many video games for a little bit. Is that gonna look weird? I think that looks all right. And then we'll call this the part-time programmer, right? And a practical guide to teach yourself to program. And then we'll drop the author name just a little bit for now. We'll just start with something. We gotta switch our colors though. So I want this to be actually bigger, and I'm just gonna put my name in it. I don't really care about by, so let's go, I don't know, let's go like 72 or something. Let's even it out, and then let's throw it at the bottom for now. I'm not really in love with this, so man, this looks too cartoony. And I don't like how all the icons are actually just like overlapping with all the little colorful thingies. What do y'all think? What should we do for this? Should we make it more serious? Should we do more minimalist, I guess? So this is kind of like what the template was. This is kind of what we're thinking about now. I don't really have a strong opinion. What other type of templates do we have here? I think this one would actually match the let's try that one too. I think I could just do this, right? So I'm actually using this as my font already, which is like right here. So maybe I just part-time programmer. Now that's the hard part, is this is going to have to be small. So like I might have to do 2 different ones, but what do you think? I want it to fit on the page, but now it's going to be too small. So we might just need to do some like, let's just bring it back to where it was. Let's copy that. And then we'll make this one a little bit smaller. Try something like this. And then this thing probably needs to be like right under it. This thing could probably go a little bit more in the middle. This color, I forget what color we had, but what color is this? Yeah, whatever that is. So A1A1CA. We can probably still keep it as that color, but It's not bad. Let's try another couple of... What else do we have? Maybe like a more minimalist thing. We'll have to find something. I don't really like the businessy looking ones. This might be alright. Typography. I mean, it might work, but probably not. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I'll come back to it, but I like this one so far. We'll have to incorporate a little bit more on it. Kind of want to even this out a little bit more. Yeah. And then the red could be, I mean, that red's alright, but I think the purple is not the good looking part of it. Because like even if we did black, it'd work out. Just that this would have to come in. And we would just need the font slightly smaller. And then we can get it like right in the middle. And then we also want the red to kind of come in a little bit too. Like, I don't think it's bad, but learn how to teach yourself program without quitting your day job. Something like that. We've got options. We'll think about it. I'm probably gonna pay somebody to do it anyway, but I'm gonna get some ideas out there. I don't think the book covers honestly matter much, but you know, gotta get something out there. Let's try like one more. Let's do it on this one. So I just gotta select it or something. Replace the current page. Yeah. That one's okay. Let's see if there's any other like minimalist things that we can use. And then we'll probably start writing, so. I kind of like this. I had to switch the colors about. Yeah. I mean, if I did something like maybe like white, this thing could be like a, I don't know. I don't really have a color scheme right now. Everything is completely changeable. Kind of thinking as minimalist as possible would be best. That's not bad actually. Just don't need toast. I'm kind of liking this one the most so far. This one's kind of cool. What's this one look like? If I do it, it has to be like big text. I think this one might be able to, this one could work, but I'd have to get some type of more graphics in it. Yeah. This one, I think we can make a lot of these much better if we wanted to. I like how it kind of does the whole Mac thing, you know, the window thing, but I mean, even if we typed in computer here, I think we're going to get really, really bad ones. Or like code. Cause like that's just like not good to me. Minimalist or something. Yeah, I think what we have right now is good enough to start with, and then we'll just go later. I wanted to create like chapter pages too for each one, so they have to kind of have some type of graphic or something. It doesn't have to look great, but it has to look all right. Yeah, I think like maybe even, no, I don't like that one either. All right, well, we'll come out. We have a few. We have this one, and we have this one for now, and we'll just call it good. So I'll just download one of these. Let's just download the second one for now, because I like that one the most. And I need a JPEG, I think, and that should be fine. So I want page 2. All right. Cool. So we're gonna kind of get some of the front matter going. So the cover right now is just this thing. We want to replace that. So how big is this thing? I think honestly we can just like switch them over. Text files that are imported will be converted. Okay, this isn't a text file. So I'm just gonna rename this one if I can. Should be able to, right? Maybe not. I thought I could. I guess like let's open it. Where would I find it? Yeah, I want to open it and just see how big it is. So the file info is, it's pretty small, but I want to see how big the actual image is. Why is Windows Photos always so confusing? Can I just open it in? All right, let's just open in Photoshop. That's the easiest way. Can I do that or no? Photoshop doesn't want to work either. I should be able to just like open this. I guess we're gonna have to go to the actual folder. That's pretty lame. I hate it when programs don't add like the reveal or whatever. And you have to actually go to the folder itself. So, and these are all hashed. That sucks. Well, let's see how big this one is. I think they're about the same. I really wish there was an easier way to do this, but it's fine. Oh, here we go. There you go. This one is about 1500 by 2500. I think ours should be okay. I don't know how big ours is. How big is ours? I think ours was about the same size. Yep. So we'll leave it as is and go from there. Okay, so it's as easy as deleting or moving it to trash or whatever, and then we'll just, I hope we can just like rename this thing. Man, so I'm on like the newest version of this software, and it does not allow you to like rename things sometimes. Like I click on it like 40 times. All right, so cover, we don't need that. We'll need like switch some of these things later. Okay. And cool. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna compile it and just see how far we are. So we have a lot of this done. We want to add the front matter as well, just so we get everything. And then we want to do this for, I guess PDF is fine. And we'll add both of these. And we'll see what that looks like. I have like Call of Duty for some reason. I don't know if it opens by itself, but we'll see what it does. All right. So it didn't add any of the we do have quite a bit of, how many pages do we have written now? Like over 100? Yeah, we're almost at like 80. That's cool. We're getting there. This book will probably be like 200 pages by the time we're done. We have a lot of it written out, so. I kind of like the icons so far. This does not look good though. Whatever happened with this thing. I guess certain emojis don't really compile well. But yeah, it's looking good. I like it. So why did our front matter not get compiled? I thought we added it. So I guess it didn't work or something. So I wanted, maybe it's because of the ebook or something like that. Is there a different thing I need to do? Compile for, I see. I'm not used to this. Like, I do all the stuff on the Mac, so it's like way different. Maybe it's the EPUB or something. I thought I could just do PDF and then it would work. Well, we should be able to like add the front matter stuff, right? So if I say front matter, maybe that works. I don't know. Because last time I did back matter or something. I don't know. Let's just try it again. And then we'll probably just write a little bit and call it a stream. All right, so let's try this one again. I should at least see the cover somewhere. And the cover's not being added either. Okay. So what is it? I guess is it grabbing something else? Maybe a different, maybe something else. I don't know. I thought for sure it'd be grabbing the ebook, but the ebook doesn't even have the cover in it. It only has the dedication. So there's something going on with it. It shows it here, but it doesn't show it in the actual editor. This might be a bug. I don't know. It's not really too much to worry about. It's just let's actually add this cover to the paperback then or something. Can I do that? Let's do that. Let's copy it here. And we'll call this cover. And then the format has like a title page too. So let's add it there for now too. And I think that should add it. I mean, these are all different, like, yeah, we have conflict. We'll figure those out later. All right, let's try that. Let's see if it actually brings in the, so it brings in this. Lock the front matter. Okay. All right. I'll try it one more time. We have the files now, so it should be all right. We can figure all that stuff out later. Okay. Still nothing. There's like a lot of empty pages too, so something. All right, well, let's start working on whatever section we have. All right. I don't remember where I am. I think I'm in habits now. So we've got quite a bit left to do, but a lot of this is already done. A lot of other sections too. So if there is a section that you're interested in, let me know, because then I'll add it. And I'll talk about it somewhere, but otherwise a lot of this stuff is already pretty much mapped out. So We're going to talk about power of compounding today. All right. We got to do... I hope this doesn't screw up my formatting. Because, like, that's a whole different text, too. Yeah, let's just make sure we copy whatever this is. Palatino linotype. So we're gonna have to, it's like, the cool thing about these programs is that you can like set your project settings and stuff, and then you can say like what, actually it's not in here. Is it formatting? Yeah. So you can basically say like, okay, for this project or whatever, I want this specific font. So you can like override it if you want, use different fonts or whatever. But yeah, this doesn't seem to like take in the right fonts. Maybe it's because it doesn't have the fonts or something, but that's not a big deal. So, I mean, we can always convert these after, because if I do this or whatever, you can just, I think it's convert, and then you can just say text to default. So if I go like this, and I did that, it switches it all. The only problem with that is that, oh, that doesn't even let me undo it, does it? Control Z. Yeah, it doesn't even like let me switch it, because like this text or whatever is probably the closest it has to this Palatino. But again, it's not a huge deal. It's just fonts right now. So I'd like it to be the same, but whatever. So how this book kind of works right now is that I go into a section, and then I have, you know, like anywhere from like 3 to like 10 different smaller chapters. I'll show you a little bit. So like limiting beliefs, for example. Let's dive into that one. And then it's kind of like small sections, which are like digestible, talking about different small little things. And then I use a lot of emojis. I don't know if they'll work out, but so like this, for example, I think is like 400 words. So if you wanted to just take on one little chapter in a quick setting, you know, you could. And like each one of them are about like 400 to 500 words or so. So that's what I usually try for at least each one. So that's what we're going to go for. We're going to probably do like 2 or 3 because we need to get about 1,000 words in. But yeah, I'm going to be probably quiet, just writing for a bit, going from there. What is 1 to the... one to the 365? Is it really? Okay, I guess it'd be like 1.01. 37. It's about 37%. guess I can go a little bit so people can actually read it. All right. Let's see. Should be all right for this first initial draft. Let's go to the next one, debugging habits. Knowing what you do every single day. Hey Dasvault, how's it going? Doing pretty good. We're doing a lot of writing. Yeah, it's been interesting. I started this book, I want to say at the beginning of the year. Honestly, haven't done too much writing until just the last couple of months or so, but I've been writing like 1,000 words every single day for the last few weeks, and I think this will have a first draft soon, so everything's going pretty well. Just trying to make content and give people value and all that stuff. So it's been good. Yeah, I've been I don't know. It's hard because there's a lot I want to do, and I've been focused on a lot of different things, and then I'm like, I always just keep like falling into like that bad habit of leaving things like undone. So this one is, hopefully going to hit 50,000 words, and then we call it done. So that's this little bar at the top here. We're getting there, but it probably won't be until the end of April when we have this first draft and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's going well. It's just I had to cut a lot of this content too, because some of it's going to be like, a lot of it has a lot of like, I don't know, habit type stuff, but it's really interesting because I think most people who can teach themselves to code have really good habits, and that's kind of where I've seen it too. So I don't want to be like that one person who's like, okay, go teach yourself to code, and then all of a sudden you just give all these resources and expect someone to be successful. I think that's the biggest thing, is like people actually fail super hard, even in college, even at boot camps, whatever, because they don't really have that structure around them. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing right now. I have a lot of other projects too, doing like videos and stuff like that, but you'll have like you'll have people that like, you'll get a lot of good stuff, you get a lot of bad stuff. You have a lot of haters out there, you'll have all that type of stuff. So to me, I'm just trying to do it all very transparently out in the open, be like, hey, if this eventually does become something that I sell, then here's what it is. You can watch me do it the whole way through. So I don't know, I think there's a lot of skeptics out in the world, but I've been kind of like burnt out by a lot of those platforms, just because like, people don't get to see what you like put into the work, and then they just judge you on the end result. And it's hard because, like, to me, I just want to really help people and give them something that I wish I had when I was starting out and that type of stuff. And that's what I see this book as, is, hey, I've done 10 years in the industry, here's everything I've learned, here's the way I've maintained it, that type of stuff. And I don't know, that's kind of how life is, just the show must go on, and you got to do it in the best way you can. People are always going to hate, so, but we're getting there very slowly and surely. But sometimes you got to take time off, sometimes you get back into it. I've been writing a lot though, so like this stuff can come pretty quickly. It's just like having the outline is the biggest part, and it took me a long time to get the outline going. It's kind of just building off of the other stuff I've wanted to do for a really long time. All right, so the first thing I want to do in this one was ability, motivation, and is there like a trigger? That should be fine. There are 3 main. For sure. I'll give a lot of people on the stream and all that stuff like, you know, need help as much as I can to get some like proofreading and all that type of stuff, because you know, it's a lot of work, but at the same time, like, I mean, this is all just because of the last 2 years of streaming and building content and stuff like that, you know. Let's see. Although the author got himself into PR troubles, I really enjoyed soft skills. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I also know him. Yeah, I think there's a lot of soft skills. I could write a book on like, hey, here's how to learn C# and the whole .NET ecosystem and stuff like that. And I actually have done that in the past. Never released it, but I wrote like 300 pages of a mobile like Xamarin book in the past too. So I don't know. Like, I'm not into tech books, like writing them. They're just boring to me, and they change so quickly. This is a typo. Yeah, I don't know. Like, as soon as I wrote, like, I want to say like 6 months of like work on this Xamarin book, everything changed. Like, and I know it changed because like I was one of the main product managers on it, because like it's just so hard. I'd have screenshots in there from one release that needed to be updated by the time I finished the first draft. I'm like, you know what? It's not worth this right now, if like, unless you have like a super mature product or you're the first one to make like a very low fidelity book on it. It's just not worth it. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get back to it. I think right now I kind of want to do more of the, here's how you approach learning. Here's how you teach yourself to learn. Here's how you build the habits. Here's how you find what to learn. Here's how you build a system of learning. That's kind of like where I am right now. I've never seen a book do it, and that's why I kind of wanted to do it myself. It's a combination of a lot of books that's just like, hey, this is all you need to know to become a programmer. And I'm hoping it'll help people. Some people will probably be like, no, I just need to do it every single day or whatever. And that's totally fine too. It's just I haven't really seen people like stick to it, if that makes sense. People go to the boot camp and then they stop learning. People go to college and they stop learning. People get a good job and then they just stop learning. So hopefully we'll change that, you know. These things definitely aren't changing it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, you know. I've been actually writing this book very generically, if that makes sense. So like, I'm trying to make it as future-proof as possible. I do have a lot of stuff where I talk about like GitHub and Stack Overflow and stuff like that, but that will stick for a long time. I'm hoping, unless like, you know, GitHub goes under somehow and Stack Overflow gets replaced by some other platform. But I'm also going to be like, my first pass is just writing, and then I'm going to add screenshots and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot richer. But no, we have a lot of good content already. I mean, I still have to like rename title or the chapters and stuff like that, because I'm just like, I'm winging it for the most part. I actually think a lot more programmers need more like soft skill type books. I'm not saying like the actual soft skills of it, but like the high level skills of just like those type of things. That's what I'm trying to do. I read a book recently about basically like building bootstrapped products, and it was really interesting because I've always followed this same idea of like just trying to not get too hooked into one idea if it doesn't work out. And the book's premise is basically like you build one prototype or an MVP in a month, and then you try to launch it and sell it as much as you can. And once you get traction, you automate the crap out of it, and then you just let it be and see how much you can actually make from it or whatever. I thought that was a really interesting book because like how it approaches it is that like you learn programming purely to launch new ideas. And I think if a lot of people knew that, because like a lot of people I think are very, they have a lot of ideas and they want to build them. And I kind of wanted to add some parts in this book of like, that's kind of where this whole validate section is. I don't have much in here right now, but like I use a pain point framework myself, and I talk about like MVPs and talking to people and stuff like that. But I'm gonna add a little bit more into here. I guess like now that I'm talking about it, I might as well just add some sections here. But yeah, but yeah, it was a really good book because basically you don't get stuck, if that makes sense. You keep going on. You abandon things when they no longer like serve you or you don't see any traction or whatever. You teach yourself to code when you need to, like just in time. So if you need to build a website, you go to Google and you say like, hey, I need to build a website, right? Like, and then you learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, whatever you need. If you need to automate something, you go online and you find a way to automate. You don't necessarily have to like learn a back-end language to automate. You find something that can do it with an existing app or something, or you build something very generic like a cron job or something, like that. So I thought that was super cool. Let's see. Hopefully some of the job career stuff will be ready in time for graduation. Yeah, I have a lot of it. In terms of the roadmap stuff, I have a lot of it, which is more of like reverse engineering and stuff like that. Trends, I have like a whole section on those. The job stuff will come really quickly because these two sections will probably take me next week, and then job and building will probably take me the week after. So if you graduate in December, yeah, we'll definitely have we have all this stuff probably wrapped up by the end of April for a first draft and stuff. So, but for the job part, we're doing like kick-ass resumes, personal portfolios, grasping GitHub, talking about being on LinkedIn and just kind of being effective there, since I don't know why people use LinkedIn. Like as a programmer, I didn't use LinkedIn forever, and then all of a sudden like as soon as you get like in a certain part of your career, it's now like you have to use it. I hate that, but it is what it is. Cover letters, prepping for interviews, and then interviewing like a pro. If there's anything else, let me know. But that's kind of like the current situation for it. I also talk a lot about career stuff. So when you actually do get a job or you're in the field, we're going to talk about like mentoring, individual contributor or manager. This is a little bit further. So like once you actually are in it, I-shaped and T-shaped, and then like new opportunities and stuff like that. Last but not least, consulting and freelancing. I don't know. I think a lot more people are going to go this route in the future, but we'll see. There's just so many jobs out there and there's so much need for programming. Yeah, freelancing in school. Yeah, I did the same thing. I did apps for the most part while I was just like working. Like I worked for like, I actually worked 40 hours when I was in school, but it was like really easy work. So it wasn't like And also like I didn't have to like go into an office or anything. I just clocked in 40 hours and then that type of stuff. But I also did um I don't know if it's consulting, but freelancing too. They had like all these different app consultancy groups that they needed Android and iOS apps built for. So every so often I put like, I don't know, 10, 20 hours a week into those. But to be honest, like whatever that consultant group was, they got those students for so cheap. It was like, I think I got paid like $20 an hour, which was a lot higher than my other jobs because it was like a student job. But I still made pretty good money, like for being a student. So I can't complain. But at the same time, like when I look back at it, I'm like, dang, these people got us really cheap. There's some cool apps, but they were like during the mobile app boom, where they're like, okay, let's build the next like Instagram for dogs or whatever it was. It's just those type of apps, and a lot of them were social network type apps. Which, if you think like college students can build, most of them can't, so they fail really badly. Now that I think about it, like everything I've ever consulted on has been like a social network or some event network type app. Kind of wanted to talk about momentum. Let's talk about this instead. The easiest. What else did I want to talk about for debugging habits? I wanted to put like I'll put a graph here. Okay. I actually think a lot more people are going to probably freelance straight out of school or in school or whatever, because I think that's the hard part is I don't know if maybe I'm just seeing it, but I saw like I feel like when I graduated in like 2013, um, like jobs were just as hard to get straight out of school. Like the only people who got the jobs were, the people with the best grades or the internships or had a network somehow, right? Like they went to some hackathon or whatever it might be. But I've been seeing this a lot recently where like I'll post a video or I'll post some opinion or something and people will be like, you're not going to get a job unless you have 5 years of experience. And I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's mostly true for any job, right? Like any job is going to ask for a lot of experience for no reason. And the only way to get experience is to get a job, right? It's kind of a catch-22. But I think I noticed like a pattern is like the amount of like people doing things outside of school is very small, if that makes sense. So people will go and go to school and get grades and all that type of stuff, but then when it comes to graduation time, like they don't have anything under their belt already. So like they don't have the summer internship, they don't have the hackathon that they did, or the school sponsored coding contests like I did, or the freelancing or consulting that they did, or the side projects that they built with friends or whatever. I think that's the challenge, is that there's kind of like an expectation. I think this is just in general for people who go to school or boot camps or whatever, is I did the thing, now I deserve the job. And I think that's the hard thing, is that the more that you have to show, or the more that you show that you're actually really interested. And I know this is kind of a catch-22 too, but it's like that whole thing of like, employers want to see that you are contributing to open source, or employers want to see that you are passionate about programming or whatever. And like the reality is like that's how you differentiate yourself, I guess. But not many people do it. Like a lot of people will go back to their old habits of like just like hanging out with friends, or playing video games, or like going and doing outdoor sports or whatever it might be, instead of like doing that extra little bit of work every so often. And it's not much. I really don't think it's that much. I think if you just put a little bit of time in here and there, like you can build a really impressive portfolio, like as long as you're motivated. I just don't think most people have the motivation because they're like super burnt out of like school and boot camps and stuff like that. I mean, I can't really say like, I don't know how you sustain it. Like I try my best to just sustain it by not relying on motivation, like I'll never be motivated to do things over and over and over again. Like for the stream today, like it wasn't the fact that I was motivated to stream, it was the fact that I was motivated to write, which is way different. And it wasn't even like motivation, it was the fact that I have to do it because I put this in my brain that if I don't do 1,000 words, like I have the ability to write today. I have that trigger moment of like, I'm going to go do it, but I had like zero motivation to do it today. I mean, I'm doing it. How far am I? I'm 700 words already. So, we'll probably finish this up really quickly, but yeah. What do I think about the prospects of having an MS in data science? I think it's a good thing to have. I think master degrees separate you a bit more. And I think the challenge is that this is where I talk about that here. With I-shape knowledge and T-shape knowledge. So, a master's degree is obviously going to separate you from a certain layer of like applicants and stuff like that. But it really just depends. Like data science to me, I don't know how to like put it in a way, but like I don't really know the industry as full-fledged. Like I have friends who are data scientists at like big companies like Netflix and Airbnb and stuff like that. But like to me, data science is the old like I don't know, like when I first graduated, it was like this idea of just like data analysis and basically doing that with more automated tooling and smarter ways of doing it and showing big data and stuff like that. But for the most part, like data science to me is like statistics and being able to say like, hey, here's some business numbers, like here's what we should do with those numbers and that type of stuff. So when it comes down to like having an MS in it, I think if you can show that you're a specialist in data science, that's going to just put you on a different level than other people. So that's where, like, in my opinion, that's what an I-shape knowledge is, right? You're just straight depth knowledge. T-shaped knowledge, though, is a little bit more breadth. You kind of have like across the a lot of different groups. So, you know, you can be like part business, part coding, part you know, I don't know, like industry specific domain knowledge or whatever it might be. So you can also niche yourself down with data science too. If you have an MS in certain types of like data science techniques or like stacks or something like that. I think most people use Python nowadays, but you know, you can find ways to do it. So I actually think it'll probably be one of the best things to do, just because there are so many people going and getting data science boot camps and stuff like that. Actually, like, what are like the boot camps nowadays? Like, what do they teach? I just want to look at like one of them. So Python, Hadoop for big data, R, Spark, SQL. Yeah, so they are just data analysis or data scientists, whatever it might be. I just want to look at one of their curriculums. Let's just look at this one. Dang, $17,000. Yeah, I'll have to look up one of the boot camps. But I mean, if you're just learning most of these things, right? See, when I graduated, it was called business analysis or it was called data analysis. Business analysis was like if you were more business oriented or you had a business background. Data analysis was more if you have a CS background or like a IT type background. But nowadays, like, I hear data scientists used everywhere, and that's like data engineer and data scientists are like if you actually use a programming language. Business analysis and data analysis are like if you use SQL, is what I've kind of seen, at least. Yeah, my whole program's all Python. I mean, it should be. I think Python's the future for it all. I actually think Swift. I think Swift dropped TensorFlow support or something like that too. So, like, even if you did a lot of like modeling and statistical type things, I don't even think you can use Swift anymore. They removed TensorFlow, I think. Yeah, archive mode. When did that happen? It was archived last month. So I don't know. I think Python is, you know, it's taking it over and it's the best model to do it, but I thought Swift was cool. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know. I think like if you get into like more of like the deep learning and that type of stuff, I don't know. I think machine learning and all that stuff is that's like the future of a lot of things, I think. But you know, it just depends on what you want to do. I think in general, if you I think the best way to be successful in this whole area is if you understand the business. So like whatever business you might be in, if you get a job at a bank, if you get a job at a tech company, if you get a job wherever it is, like, right, like understanding how that business makes money and then understanding how the data can serve that business to make more money, right? Like that's the best way to climb the career ladder, in my opinion. It might you know, eat at your soul and whatnot, but at the same time, like that's the easiest way, in my opinion. And also like you gain super valuable skills, which is like just knowing how the business operates and stuff like that. That to me is more generalist work than it is specialist work. If you want somebody who is asking for those answers and then you go figure them out, like that's fine too, you know. But I think having that knowledge at the top will actually serve you better as a generalist than a specialist. But then again, you can specialize in this by being a master of the domain, but also having the skills to, you know, to pull it off, to execute upon it, right? So if you're really good at Python and being able to pull numbers really quickly of how to do that, the more power to you. So, okay, so motivation. Yeah, no, see, the thing about it is like the best programmers, like, so I've worked in a lot of those different industries of like where there's really good, there's people who are really good at the business side and there's really good people at the programming side. But when you find the special, like, in between where they have just enough on each side where they're really good programmers and they're really good at the business side, those are like, the, I don't know, your key employees or whatever, like your impactful employees. If you can do both of those, it's hard though, because you're you're irreplaceable at the same time as you're not promotable. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically you do your job so well that it's actually a risk to give you a promotion into, say, management, and it's also a risk to get rid of you, obviously, because you have such a valuable skill that pays way more than whatever your salary might be. But that puts you in a good position, though, and the reason why is that even though you're not, like, for, say, like, promotable into like a general management path, you can make a lot more money by just knowing how much you're worth to the company. So you can be like, okay, well, I'm getting paid this at market level right now, but to be honest, I actually think I'm worth, this much more because I bring in this much value. And when you have those conversations, you're going to be able to understand where you actually fit on, like, the totem pole or whatever it is of that company. So if they think you're valuable, they're going to give you the raise, right? And one that you might ask, or might even force, right? But the opposite is true too. If they don't think you're that valuable, they might be like, like, you're open to find another job or whatever. And it can backfire. But at the same time, if you are the way to know that you are this is when everybody comes to you for questions, right? So, like, if you're the one who's answering all these questions on, like, the business front, like how the things work, but also on the how to do it with, like, say, Python or like the data modeling or whatever you're doing, that is when you have that position of leverage, and then that's when you might do something like that. So it's hard enough keeping up with the technology. Yeah, technology changes, but for the most part, like, once you know Python, you know Python. Once you know pandas, you know pandas, right? You can pretty much do a lot of, like, these small little things really quickly. I mean, I feel like I learned C# back in, like, 2010 or something like that. Maybe even actually a little bit earlier, probably like 2008 or something. But I mean, that skill has been a decade or so that just lasted for forever. Like, I know enough C# to, like, really get by. And I mean, how much more do you need to know? That's like, in this book, basically, I say the same thing is, if you know the 20% of a language to do 80% of the things you're going to do with it, that's all you need to know. And that's where I try to keep that kind of throughout the book, because if you learn all the advanced functions of, like, any language you learn or the frameworks or whatever, when do you actually use them? Like, there might be some shortened syntax, there might be some cool, like, co-routines or function parameters, or, like, whatever it might be, null operators. Like, how much do they actually help you? Like, that's the hard part, is you don't need to know those until later on. If you're maintaining code and stuff like that, sure, it's great, because then you can refactor things. But for the most part, like, as these languages evolve, they don't evolve enough to the point where your 20% of knowledge ever shifts. You just kind of get a little bit better every day. All right, so I got 300 words. Start the behavior equation, I guess. I guess debugging habits should go after. Oh, it's, I guess prompt is a better word now that I think about it. I think I can still do that. Okay. Behavior. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about think or brainstorming behaviors. It's 10 minutes should be fine. that's cool. I have like a little banner when you finish. Alright, we'll finish like one more section. Let's call this one combining behaviors. Okay, I think it's a good stopping point. Gosh, we're gonna have such a rough edit this first time on this book, but we got our 1,000 words in, about 1,100 it looks like. I still gotta map out a lot more of these, but a lot of them I have. I guess this momentum section will probably go into this section that I have. I'll talk about habits a little bit more. I need to rename some of these. Skills is a good one. I need to kind of map these out too. Almost have that done. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a lot of that stuff offline because it's not a huge. I don't want to bore people, but yeah, we'll add some more emojis too. We'll find all of our all of our typos and stuff. But yeah, it's shaping up. So about 1,500 word or 15,000 words now, and we're gonna get to 50 hopefully. I'll have a first cut of the book. We'll send it to people. If you're not part of the email list, join that because I give updates on that every so often too. And then yeah, other than that, we did what we wanted to do. We have a new book cover. That's kind of cool. Where is it? This thing for now. It's not beautiful, but I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. It kind of matches. I like it so far, but yeah, we'll have to do a little bit more design work. We are programmers after all, so yeah. Other than that, I'm gonna call the stream for now. Been about 2 hours or so, and yeah. Other than that, hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. Try to do it at least 2 times a week if possible.